Hello, and welcome to Daughters Dialogue. I'm your host, Gianna. This is our first episode, guys. So exciting. Um, Basically, what I want to talk about is books and films because that is my personality, it's everything. Yeah. Um, Mainly the ones that I think are important and have stuck with me because that's what's interesting to me and easy for me to yap endlessly about. So, yeah. And today I want to start with one of my favorites, The Virgin Suicides, which is a novel and also has a film adaptation. Perfect. And the film adaptation is by Sofia Coppola. Perfect. Um, it's a story that I love, kind of suspended between adolescence and adulthood, life and death, you know. It's a story that makes you think about perspective, unreliable narrator, yeah, that vibe, love that. Um, but I'll really be talking about the novel by Jeffrey Eugenides, pretty sure that's how you pronounce his last name, not completely sure, and Sofia Coppola's adaptation, 1999 film. Um, and I want to talk about how each version, book and film portrays the story, what they got right, and the differences, and the way that they have shaped my view of the Lisbon sisters' pretty tragic lives. Okay. Okay, let's start with the book. They always say start with the book and then the film, so we're gonna start with the book. The Virgin Suicides book is narrated by a group of neighborhood boys who are now grown men, looking back on the Lisbon sisters, who all died by suicide within a single year. Pretty insane. Yeah. 6 sisters, all committed suicide within a single year. That's pretty uncommon, okay? But me being kind of a literature geek, what I love about the novel is the perspective. It's so unique. It's a first person plural narration. So the we voice, the boys of the neighborhood is the we, okay? And the boys speak as a collective, like if you're into Greek tragedy, the Greek chorus, they're narrating together. They're piecing together the fragments of the girls' lives from memory. So, you know how memories are. They're not 100% accurate. But that's all we get, and we grasp onto every little piece that they tell us because, yeah, that's all we have. And the funny thing about it is that they don't really know the Lisbon sisters. They only know their own memories of them. So there's definitely a gap. There's the novel has like a distance between the narrators and the sisters. Like the boys try to understand why the girls did what they did, but they can never truly know, which is what makes it like frustrating and brilliant. Like the Lisbon sisters always remain kind of an enigma. We just don't know, okay? But then in the film adaptation, the sense of the distance is still there, but it feels different. Like the film gives us visuals that the book can't. And it's beautiful images, visuals of like softs and like dreamlike of the Lisbon sisters, and they float through their brief little lives. And Sofia Coppola really captures that, like the ethereal, otherworldly quality of the girls in a way that feels like very intimate but distant, which kind of fits exactly what I think the boys' perspective of them was. Definitely the romanticized, idealistic vibe that they're viewing them as. It's very romanticized. The entire book, in my opinion, is just the boys romanticizing these girls' tragedy. But one of the things in the film that I find really interesting is how Sofia Coppola uses the boys' perspective in the film. Like, while the film retains that narration by the boys, it still shifts more of a focus onto the Lisbon sisters themselves. Like in the book, the sisters are kind of kept at an arm's length. Like we only see them through windows, glimpsed from afar, notes from their diaries, notes that they send the boys. They really only interact with them face to face a couple of times. We're always just seeing them like indirectly. But in the film, because it's film, and we can have multiple perspectives, which is great. We get like moments alone with the girls. Like Lux lies on the roof, and the iconic Cecilia scene where she's in the hospital and she says to the doctor, obviously, doctor, you've never been a 13-year-old girl before. Like, that's iconic. And we only get that from the film. Those scenes in the film really give us a glimpse into the girls' lives that the book doesn't. And I think it really humanizes them in a different way, making us, like, feel their side, their isolation, the weight of their sadness. But it still maintains the mystery, which is what I like. I would have been disappointed if she would have kind of made it mainly focused on them and gone too much into their side of the story, because that's really what makes the book so interesting, is that you don't get anything from them. Everything is from the boys. Which makes you wonder how accurate anything they're saying is, makes you frustrated with how romanticized their speech about them is, and in the ways where you kind of see the Lisbon sisters crying out for help multiple times, and the boys are just completely oblivious to it because they're just obsessive about them, but not in a necessarily genuine way. Yeah, but the book and the film definitely differ in, I think, tone. Okay, the novel to me feels more dark and like detached. It's like a slow, suffocating descent into tragedy, where like the boys' obsession gets more and more unhealthy with the girls. Like they're becoming more and more obsessed as the book goes on. And there's kind of like a sense of voyeurism. Like you're never really sure in the book if the boys truly care about the sisters or if they're just like obsessed with the idea of them. In my head, I'm pretty sure that they're just obsessed with the idea of them, but like it's more ambiguous, whatever. But in the film, like, because there's the cinematography of it where Sofia Coppola kind of leans into like the dreamy, nostalgic, there's beauty in the tragedy in the film. The soft lighting and the music, which is amazing. The soundtrack is amazing. Everything just kind of feels wrapped in like a hazy glow, which has a lot of contrast with the reality of what's happening. Like, all this light, feminine, romanticized, nostalgic imagery, and then the reality of the girl's slow depression and rotting. It's beautiful, but it's tragic. It's definitely a fine line, though. Some people think that the film romanticizes the girls' like deaths a little bit too much. But I think, in my opinion, I think it's realistic. I think that it's showing how the boys, and kind of how we as an audience tend to romanticize and idealize things that we don't fully understand, especially when it comes to like these young and beautiful girls. Oh, they're perfect. They can't be feeling these things. We're romanticizing them. We don't understand it. And that's definitely the boys' perspective. And it's from the boys' perspective, so obviously it's going to be romanticized. That's just my opinion. Yes, objectively, we shouldn't romanticize these tragic things, but it's the artistry of it. The novel is meant to be commentary on that, in my opinion. Now part of my favorite part of the novel is the Lisbon house, okay? Because to me, the Lisbon house is a character. It's a character in both the book and the film. But in the novel, the house like slowly decays alongside the girls' lives, and the girls kind of become prisoners in their own home. Um, and their parents, oh my god, particularly particularly the mother, who becomes more and more controlling, and by the end, the house is like crumbling and overgrown. It's a symbol, of like oppression and decay. And in the film, the house is almost like suffocating in its brightness in the beginning, and everything is so clean and so perfect and suburban. And that contrast really makes the tragedy even more jarring. Like, as the house starts to fall apart, it just reflects the growing isolation of the girls. And it visually captures the house and showing how trapped the girls are, like, not just physically, but emotionally trapped in the house. So what's the core difference between the book and the film? For me, it's about perspective. In the book, we're always looking back. The narrators are older now. The boys are older, trying to piece together what happened. How did this happen? They're stuck in the past. They never move on from the sisters. And the book kind of feels like a ghost story. It's like the sisters are gone, but they're haunting the boys. They cannot move on. Because they were obsessed. And they're just haunted by their memories. But in the film, there's still the sense of haunting, but I think Sofia Coppola really brings the girls to the forefront. We see them like not just objects of fascination, but as individuals, each dealing with her own inner struggles. The film definitely gives us more of the Lisbon girls, even though, I mean, they definitely remain unknowable, but we get to see them. We get to, I don't know. It definitely brings them more to life. Obviously, it's a film, so yeah, it's gonna feel more alive, but I don't know. In the book, I feel like they're definitely more distant. Or did I just say, whatever. In the book, they're more distant. In the film, you get a lot more from them, I think. But both of them are really powerful. Both versions, film and book. I love it because they don't give us any answers. In both the novel and the film, we still have the ambiguity. We still don't know why they did what they did. And that's the tragedy. Sometimes we don't get the full story. And that's what makes it so amazing. It keeps you guessing. You don't know. As I wrap up, because I'm going to, I want to leave you with a thought, okay? Because this is what the novel had me thinking the first time that I read it. About how we, like, remember people. Like, both the film and the novel ask us, like, how do we remember people? Especially, like, ones that are no longer with us. Like, do we really see them for who they are? Or do we turn them into, like, something else? Sometimes we honor their memories, and sometimes we just trap them in our own narratives. And I think that's something to think about. Yeah, and the Virgin Suicides definitely doesn't answer that question. So, I don't know. But maybe that's the point. It's meant to remain a mystery. We don't know. Okay, thank you for listening to me ramble. This is the first episode of Daughter's Dialogue, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on both the book and the film. Did you feel the same haunting pull from both? I did. Reach out on social media, Instagram, Daughter's Dialogue, and don't forget to subscribe if you want more of me just endlessly yapping about books and films, okay? Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.